Hello, my name's Jonathan. Welcome again to MarBec Dairy and a day in the life of a calf grower. Today's episode we're going to focus on the facility behind me in the calf barn, how we designed it, why we added certain aspects, and I'll even talk about where we were before this facility. So a little bit of background before we had the calf barn. Before we had the calf barn, we had this blacktop pad here behind me. The blacktop pad worked very well for a lot of years. We had 5 rows of hutches with sand bedding underneath in the summer, which really helped to get water and kept maggots out. And then in the winter we threw straw in to deep bed them on top of the sand. The blacktop had different, it's all pitched to one corner, but there was a curb poured so that water from one row didn't get to the next. But ultimately we had to come up with a new idea when we expanded, because the pad wasn't large enough. When we expanded, instead of having calf hutches every 2 feet, they were maybe a foot apart from each other. And so we were trying to decide if we were going to expand the pad and make it bigger and buy more hutches. The problems that came with that were, in the summer it is very hot here on the blacktop. The heat kind of goes down into the blacktop because everything's absorbed by black. And so we heat back up. Even with calf hutches propped up in the back, it still got very warm down here for calves. It got hard to expand, it turns out, because of excavation. There's a water run down below here. Didn't really want to move that. And then the third obstacle to expanding the blacktop would have been there's no prep area down here. There's no water access for warm water, electricity, or a warm room to prep everything in. So that's when the calf barn really became our main goal. So me, my dad, my veterinarian, and my grandfather and my great uncle all did a bunch of tours in designing the calf barn. So I just want to take a moment to thank them and to encourage everybody to go out and tour as many facilities as they can before they design their own. Without the help of fellow farmers, my calf barn would not be as successful as it has been or function near as well as it has. So I want to take time to give them credit and take you into the calf barn now and show you some of the ideas. The one thing that's different than a lot of barns, though, is that we actually have a 4-row design, and all 4 rows are pre-weaned calves. 2 rows just wasn't an option for us. One of the benefits of being out here in the beautiful rolling hills of Buffalo County is the scenery, but they forget to tell you that excavating will cost you a little more to get a level spot to put anything. So in looking for a location, we decided that we needed a location that was big enough to house this many calves, so that meant we couldn't go long, but we could go wide. And so that's how we came about with a 4-row design. So in this barn we have 6 fans going into 6 tubes over each different row to make sure that we have enough airflow in both the summer and in the winter to get at least 1 air exchange every minute in the summer. And we have variable speed drives on the fans to reduce it in the winter if we feel it's getting too cold. Another feature of this barn is the height of the barn. When we went to tour other facilities, barns that had a low ceiling tended to have a more ammonia smell than barns that were taller, so we went tall. Around the outside of the barn, there's a 2-foot curve against the outside wall. That's so that draft in the winter comes down, warms up before it actually falls in with the calves. And not only is there a 2-foot spacing for in the winter, but the wall is also only 2 feet high, so that in the summer, air from the wind can come in and actually get down to calf level. It doesn't have to come over 4-foot walls. The design of the barn is on an east to west orientation. That's to keep the sun in the summer from beating in on calves through the sidewalls. The curtains themselves are Gen Airs. The Gen Airs are really nice because they seal pretty tight in the winter. They also tend to let sunlight in so that there's a touch of warmth in the winter. Also, they're on their own thermostats. The thermostats automatically run when they raise, when they lower, based off temperature. Also, there's a rain sensor that runs the curtains, so if it's raining outside, the curtains automatically come up so that if it were really breezy, that rain couldn't make its way inside the barn and get a bunch of calves damp. I didn't go mechanical ventilation because this barn is located somewhat on the hill, and so the breeze here in the summer is actually really nice, and I wanted to take advantage of that, and positive pressure seemed to be the way to go, just to keep from microatmospheres kind of developing next to calf and keeping respiratory problems at bay. Knock on wood, we haven't had a lot of pneumonia cases in this barn, so I'm very proud of the way that design turned out. Other things that we got from people were the actual sturdy built pens themselves. I saw them on a different farm and I thought, well, I gotta have them. They seem to be very skid steer friendly. You can pull out the two panels, they can mingle before you wean, and as soon as you pull them out and you get the calves weaned, all three of that section are on one hinge, and the hinge opens and you can get a skid steer in there and get easily clean it out. I do have concrete under my calves, not rock and tile. The reason we did that is because here we have direct hot water heaters, and I wanted to be able to take advantage of cleaning the pens with the hot water and soap. So it just makes it easier to let water drain to the drain, and I can control all of that water flow, and also I can control any contamination or biosecurity risks that come from calves and manure. The barn has worked really well. It took a lot of tours to get to where we are. So once again, I just want to encourage you that if you're thinking about building a calf barn, get out and tour a bunch of facilities, as many as you can, to have the best ideas possible. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of A Day in the Life of a Calf Grower, and I hope to see you next time.